This may be some, but none like you will be understood, 'cause you're the truth. Give me a few more of the blue.
Okay, hi guys, we're back with another series of Coffee with the K's. We're doing no coffee,
Oh yeah,
right?
No coffee. This is the Nightcap edition.
I can't drink coffee this late at night.
Exactly, that's why it's the Nightcap.
Water.
It's the
We still
evening.
did have intention of bringing you a decaf.
Yeah.
But no coffee with the K's, just coffee with the K's Nightcap.
Right.
Exactly. Okay, so we have special guests this time that we're going to be chatting with. This is kind of each person's area of expertise, and we just want to chat with them and get lots of insight and some inspiration, motivation. So the first person we're super excited to be here is Nate Feldpausch, and he is the owner of Williamston Crossfit, which was actually voted, what were you voted, favorite gym?
Favorite workout facility gym.
Yeah,
in
this
Williamston,
year.
yeah.
So they're doing awesome. So we are going to be kind of just chatting about fitness
Yeah.
and the whole thing. So first of all, we're just going to tell you how we met Nate. Do you remember? So it was like, it's been like
It's been a
5
long time,
years
right?
now.
As long as we've
Yeah.
been open.
Right.
Yeah, so
Pretty
him and Emily just kind of popped into our office one day and we're like, hey, you guys are new, we're new, what's up?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool. That's how we hooked up. And then it was at a time when I had lost my mom like 3 months prior, and we had absolutely no motivation to work out whatsoever, could not dig deep to find it, and we were like, let's try it, let's see.
Let's do it.
So Nate's the kind of trainer, the coach, that he is not one that's like over the top. He was just enough to get us motivated. So
Yeah.
if you can't find motivation, he's good.
Yeah, thank you.
He's good.
Yeah, it's been fun, right? I mean, we've kind of grown. Our businesses have grown. We've grown together
Yeah.
here in Williamston.
It's
So
been
it's
fun to
been
kind of
kind of
watch
a new
each other. We've been
experience.
right side by side. So you originally, you were all involved in football and everything,
Yep.
right? In high school?
Yeah, so I guess a little bit of my background. I teach biology, high school biology at
Yeah.
East Lansing High School, and I coached football there for 10 years, and then kind of got more and more involved with the strength and conditioning program with the football team at East Lansing High School. And I guess kind of from the outside looking in, because I wasn't really the head coach, so you could kind of observe it with like a different perspective, you know?
Yeah.
And so it just, all of those programs, it seemed like it was like the blind leading the willing is what I kind of think of it as, you know?
Yeah.
So it was a bunch of football coaches who knew a ton about football, but not so much about how to deadlift and squat and what the rest and recovery and stuff should look like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I guess I kind of took it upon myself to figure out what that was and to learn more about that.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of got involved. I had a buddy in Atlanta, actually Savannah at the time, that was doing CrossFit. He kept going, you got to do it, you got to do it, you got to do it. So I dropped in at a local CrossFit gym and tried it out, and then I've kind of been hooked ever since.
That's awesome.
And I think, you know, beforehand, I feel like everybody's kind of in this boat, you know, like I was the guy that, oh, the weather's nice now in the spring, and I'd go for a run for a week and a half
Yeah.
and get bored with that.
Yeah,
and
like most people.
I walked through a gym and looked at all the machines and didn't really know what to do or how to do them, you know. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this just kind of spoke to me because it's always something different, you know.
Yes, it
And,
challenges you, and
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
that's awesome. So one of the big parts of CrossFit, though, is the strength training. That's one of the big components of
Sure.
it. Can you kind of tell people why that's so important?
Yeah.
Have strength?
You know, I think that as a society, we've kind of just come to grip with, oh, I'm getting older. I shouldn't be able to do a push-up or a pull-up. Like it's acceptable, you know, and that's just kind
For
of what
sure.
people expect. And I think what we're doing and where the strength training comes in is we're trying to kind of shift that ideology. You know, where hey, you're 40 years old, yeah, let's do a pull-up, you know, and let's
Yeah.
deadlift some heavy weight. Like just
Yeah.
because you're getting older doesn't mean you need to deteriorate, you
Right,
know, and you can
right.
at least
For sure.
slow that deterioration down. I mean,
Right.
Yes.
mother time or father time's always going to
Right.
catch you,
Right.
but slowing it down is huge. So I think as far as the strength training goes, we're doing functional movements, things that our bodies are designed to do. You know, we're squatting, we're deadlifting, we're pressing, and there's coaches here watching you every step of the way, making sure your form is proper. And
Yeah, that's important.
once you have that down, it's like, all right, now let's put our body under some stress, you know?
Right.
I think if we've learned anything here in the year 2018, our bodies respond incredible to stress. You know, like our bodies are going to adapt and adjust to the stress that we put it under.
Yeah.
So
We've talked about that before, that good hormesis, that good stress
The
that
good
you
stress.
place on your
Yeah.
body,
Which
that
is what
kind of
exercise
forces your
is.
body to build itself.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. The other thing that I think of is just the mental component of it. You know, like so many people that are out here that this might be their best hour of the day.
Yeah.
You know, and
Oh, yeah.
and to have an hour of your day where all of the other stuff that's happening in your life is kind of put to the wayside, and you get to
Right.
know you're going to share a few laughs and break a sweat and walk out of here with a smile on your face is huge for the mental side of it.
Right. Right.
And also with mental strength, I think sometimes you look at workouts, you know, and you're like, no way could I ever do that. And if it was me at home in my garage, I would probably do half of that,
Right.
you know?
Yes.
Just drop out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where community is so important in CrossFit, but
Yeah.
not just in CrossFit, just in fitness in general, having the right people with you to kind of keep you
Absolutely.
motivated.
Absolutely. I think many of our members have that workout buddy.
Yeah.
You know, where
Yeah.
they're texting each other the night before, are you going to be there at 6 a.m.? Yeah, I'm going to be there. You know, I don't want to
Yeah.
be, but if you're going to be, I'm going to be.
Yeah.
You know? And,
Kind of good peer pressure,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
So kind of tie into that a little bit because that's a big part of CrossFit, and I will get into some of the other athletic and training things that you guys have here besides
Sure.
CrossFit. But community. Now, I mean, I'll be the first one to say Nate and Emily and the whole CrossFit community here.
Yeah.
I mean, when this community has a need, they're the first ones to step up. Even with our own immediate family, when we needed money raised, they were the first ones to do it. But do
Yeah.
you feel like community is a big part of staying motivated? You know, really being involved and actually kind of getting your fitness to the next level?
Yeah. It is kind of like two separate things, you know.
Yeah.
I think many people, their goals out here, I mean, how much they deadlift and back squat and how fast they run a mile and how many jumping jacks you can do in a minute, you know. That's definitely one component. But I think most of the people out here, their goals are kind of long term, you know, like
Yeah.
like I mentioned, you know, like they want to be chasing their kids around at night. They want to be chasing their grandkids around in
Yeah.
however many years, or maybe right now, you know.
Yeah.
So that's like one component of it, and then just kind of the accountability and to have the friends and the environment that
Yeah.
you know is going to be there to support you is I think what allows you to reach the physical goals that you might
Yeah.
be after,
yeah,
you know.
That's
And I think you bring up a great point. You know, I mean, we do a lot of great things with the CrossFit, but we've got a ton of other great programs, you know, and I
Yeah.
think our B-Fit class at 9 in the morning, I mean, I've never seen a tighter knit of a dozen people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an incredible group. And the Rise and Grind, the early birds in the morning, you know, at 5 in the morning, they're the same way, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're all part of the community that
Sounds-
helps give to the bigger community as well.
yeah.
What are, so to kind of get a little bit more specific with this facility, like let's say somebody maybe doesn't want to do CrossFit or whatever, what else do you guys offer here? What are the other classes that go on?
Sure. So our early morning Rise and Grind class is kind of a combination. They're all really combinations. I think they spin one morning. She'll do a lot of kettlebell and strength circuits. And then they work some mobility, some yoga into that early morning class as well. And then the the mid-morning, the B-Fit class is kind of the same way. They spin one morning, they'll do Pilates, they'll do some strength circuits. We've got yoga that happens Wednesday night and Friday morning as
Yeah.
well. And then we've got spin bikes, you know, we've got spinning that happens 2-3 nights a week here as
That's
well.
awesome.
You know, so yeah, really
Whatever it is.
whatever you want, you know.
Whatever you
and,
want,
yeah.
it's here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So most people join the gym to lose weight.
Yeah.
That's like
That's
probably
usually a primary
the
goal.
number
Uh-huh.
one reason. Everybody's like, how do I lose weight? So
Yeah.
being a coach, what do you find is kind of the best combination for weight loss?
Yeah, I think you guys do a great job at Williamston Sport and Spine. It all starts with what you're doing in the kitchen. You know, I always,
That's what we say, guys.
it does. You know, people are like, oh gosh, I see people lifting heavy weights. Am I going to get all bulky? And it's like, let's go throw a football. Are we going to turn into Tom Brady? You know, like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And so really, it's a combination. You got to have it together in the kitchen. The kitchen determines your body type.
Yeah.
You know, and then from there, here at the gym, we're gonna help you burn those calories. You know, and kind of also build the strength and endurance. You know, to help you on your journey, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah. In the health world, you know, the big buzz right now is mitochondria.
Sure.
And how fitness affects the mitochondria. And we've talked about it a little bit.
And we already kind of talked about good stress, you know, which exercise is.
Yeah. With Nate being a biology teacher, can you just give us, for people that have totally forgotten what is mitochondria, can you just tell them?
Yeah, so welcome to my freshman biology class.
Yes,
Right? So when we talk, mitochondria is an organelle in our cell. So our body's made up of billions of cells, right? We've got skin cells and muscle cells and bone cells and cheek cells and nerve cells, and the list goes on and on and on. So the mitochondria is one organelle of many. It's kind of like a worker on an assembly line, so to speak. The analogy that we use for the mitochondria is it's the powerhouse of the cell. So when you think of a power plant, they're going to take natural gas and burn the natural gas and spin a turbine and produce electricity for us to use, right? It's a power plant. Our mitochondria in the cell is the power plant of our cell. It's going to take the sugar, it's going to take glucose, right? That's the fuel for our body, and it's going to turn that into ATP, which is a fancy three little letters, I suppose, for the energy that our cells need, right?
Yeah.
To move, to think, to do everything that our body does. We need to use that ATP. So that's what mitochondria is. It basically takes the glucose and converts it into usable energy for our cells.
So people are chatting about it and talking about it because fitness, you know, has a direct impact on that mitochondria and can really boost and build the energy. So that's another good reason. So at first, if you don't have the energy, it's kind of like it just takes willpower at first, but then
you want more of what's going to produce that energy. And what we found is the best way to do it is to do strength training. That is where the research is. When you put that demand on there, it requires more to complete the demand, as opposed to just phasing out.
And to kind of go back to the cells, you know, our muscle cells are jam-packed with mitochondria, right?
Yeah.
Where our blood cells, I don't think, have any mitochondria. So when you're working out and doing the strength training, that's directly affecting the supply of mitochondria, right? Like where our mitochondria are hanging out at.
Right.
Yeah, so you get stronger and more energy and boost you up.
Yeah.
So it's, you know,
so we like to we want to tie that in because that's, you know, that's real crucial right now. Is stimulating that mitochondria, the mitochondrial fatigue, the issues that people are dealing with, but also that we talked about the kitchen. Nate talked about the kitchen, but you can't do it all in the kitchen. You have to go out there and stress the body. You have to do exercise. There's not a better place than right here to do that.
Yeah.
But so it's one thing that Dr. Sminsky always says. It's not an or exercise or nutrition. It's an and. It's exercise and nutrition. It goes together. You can't do one or the other.
Sure. Yes. Absolutely. Another big trend is working out for a little less time and a little more intensity. I would say this is pretty much that, right? I mean, that's what
absolutely.
CrossFit is. How long are the actual?
The classes, all of our classes are an hour long. For the Rise and Grind and the Be Fit class, they're generally a little more endurance workouts. You know, they're going to keep you moving for that hour. Yeah. In CrossFit, we keep you moving, but ultimately it's the WOD, or the workout of the day, right? That is where it's, all right, you guys know what you're doing. 3, 2, 1, ready? Do it as best as you can.
Yeah.
And so that ranges. I think part of the variation in CrossFit is some workouts could be like a minute long, and some workouts could be 45 minutes long to an hour long, you know? I mean,
right. It's just that high intensity, that leave it all there, and then...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think what they've found with that, I mean, I always tell people when they're just beginning and throughout, you know, the intensity is where your results are, right? Like, that's where you reach your goals, is by pushing your intensity. Now, I always throw a caveat on there because my intensity is different than your, and your, everybody's got different intensities. So it's not like, well, everybody's got different intensities.
At your level.
But then when I was thinking about this, I don't know, it may be kind of silly, but I was thinking of it kind of as like the plumbing in our house, like our blood vessels are kind of similar, right? Can I make that analogy?
Yeah.
And so if you've got a little backup in your plumbing in your house, you don't put a little trickle of water down there and expect to break that up. You want to blast it out of there, you know?
Yeah.
And so our blood vessels are the same way. The buildup is cholesterol, right, on the blood vessels. And that high intensity workout blasts those blood vessels, right? Because you got that blood flowing throughout your body at a high rate.
Yeah.
So I think that's where many people, when they've committed to a high intensity workout routine, all of a sudden their blood pressure goes down and their cholesterol, I mean, all of these numbers that we're interested in are improving.
Yeah.
And people come to me and I feel bad because I'm borderline like not surprised because I know they've been working hard for months,
Yeah.
And when they come and tell me that their numbers have dropped, I'm like, you've earned it, great job.
That's awesome.
That's a result.
Yeah,
That's a side effect.
absolutely.
That's the
a good
byproduct
side
that everybody's
effect.
going for.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely.
So we have some viewers that maybe don't have the motivation yet to get moving, and we try to encourage them. So what are maybe some things that people can do at home, or just
to get
get
started.
going?
Yeah, absolutely. I get it, and I think we're all packed on time, right? I mean, it's like, gosh, I don't know that I could find 3 hours throughout the week to work out. The first thing I think is to know that you don't need that kind of time. With the high intensity, you can do a ton in a half an hour, 20 minutes,
That's what we're talking about, guys.
Yeah. But then from there, I also, I'm kind of a traditionalist when it comes to exercise. I don't believe in buying all the equipment. I think push-ups and sit-ups and lunges and squats and, grabbing a couple bags of flour and pushing them overhead. Like the world is your playground, so to speak, and you just got to do it.
Yeah, you can get started right now.
Yeah.
And you can do all those things right now in your room at home. So.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, do you have any other questions to ask it?
Not really. You kind of gave us a lot there, Nate, which I knew you would. That's
I don't know
awesome.
if we got any questions. It's just
We have some questions here.
Yeah, let's see some questions here.
Let's see what we've got. Woohoo, Williamston Crossfit is the best. Well, we already knew that.
Yeah.
Hi there. Okay. All right, no questions, but
Awesome.
But if you have
shout
some, we'll post it, and you guys can always attach some questions, and if you have to throw something Nate's way, we'll make sure he gets it.
we'll have him
Absolutely.
answer. He can come on and answer later. But let's show them the gym just really quick so you guys can see what's going on back here. He's got another class that's going to be coming through. But check him out, WilliamstonCrossfit.com. Is that your website?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Facebook,
email, phone call.
And he has an on-ramp class.
Yep.
That's kind of an intro.
For CrossFit, we run an intro the first week of each month for athletes that are interested in that. For our Rise and Grind and for our B-Fit and spinning, you just really got to get a hold of me and you get a free trial to come and see if it's for you,
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's a lot to offer here. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not just one thing or the other thing. It kind of covers everything. So that's pretty exciting, too. I mean, you can see why you guys were voted #1, and we obviously love it here as well.
Yeah. He's a good coach. There's other good coaches here,
and
too.
and there's other great coaches here as well. So we just wanted to, we're going to have Krystal, she's going to go around, show you guys the gym a little bit. Make sure you do go onto Facebook and look up Nate's Williamston CrossFit. Make sure you do go to their website, check it out. If you like what we heard here, you heard today, make sure you like the page. Follow us on Drs. Kyle and Krystal for Instagram and YouTube.
And share it with someone that needs a little motivation.
Yeah, share it with someone that needs a little
that's
motivation. Because it is exercise. It's very important.
Yeah. Thank you guys a ton for having me on board. It was a lot of fun.
we're excited.
I got to give a shout out to my boys, JB and Evan and Andy, hanging out. I don't know if they're watching it at home or they're driving
Andy's the
by.
newest addition to the Feldpausch clan.
When we first started, there were none of these
There were
little
0.
ones.
Yeah.
Now there's 3.
Yeah,
It happened fast.
And of course, my awesome wife EB, who
Of course.
is
Big
always
shout out
working
to
behind the
Emily.
scenes to make all this
That's right.
happen.
Yep.
That's right. So
Yeah, and we want to thank, and this whole community should thank Nate and Emily because they do an
Really.
awesome job here, not just with our family, but lots of different causes, lots of different things. I know they'll have Billtown coming up here.
Yeah, absolutely, in August. And then we do a 5K Gombat in
Right.
September, along with the weekend survival kits.
Yeah, so they partner with them quite often.
We'll
Yeah,
post the
absolutely.
links to those events too, so people can check them out.
Yeah, can sign up for all that, the charity aspect of everything as well, which is really cool.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, let's show them the gym here a
Thanks,
little bit.
Nate.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. Let me feel like I need to help give the tour.
Yeah, for sure. Walk us through what we've got here. As you can see,
Sure. So over here we've got, 14 top-of-the-line spin bikes, right? They're brand new a year or so ago.
it's awesome.
And then as you kind of look around, we often think of ourselves as a machine out here. So we've got a wide open space. We're going to think of ourselves as a machine. We're going to teach you how to move properly. And then from there, it's starting to load weight on, as we talked about that stress previously, right?
Yep.
So we've got med balls and bumper plates and kettlebells and dumbbells and barbells and all sorts of the latest and greatest. Bands and more dumbbells and rowing machines. So
This is a lot more equipment.
It's
than
pretty
when you
wild,
first
right? I know it.
started.
This is awesome.
Big.
This
they,
is awesome.
Kyle and Krystal were one of the original members of
At
the
the
pole barn,
barn.
right?
Yeah, we were doing it Rocky style back then. I think it got a little more
I know.
sophisticated.
The pull-up rigs now they're the ball storage facility there.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Though,
Yeah, it's been fun growing with,
For
with
sure.
the community. So
Cool. All right,
Yeah.
guys.
All right,
Check
so
'em out.
definitely check out Williamston CrossFit. Check out Nate. If you do have any questions, we'll make sure we get them his way so that he can answer them if there are some exercise questions out there, or if you just need to get a hold of them. But thanks for watching our new series of Coffee with the K's, Nightcap Edition. We'll be here again next Tuesday. Well, not at CrossFit. We'll be at Joey's Pet Outfitter talking about healthy things that you can give your dogs and cats. The main thing here is Michigan is known as the Fresh Coast. We want it to be known as the Health Coast, okay? We don't need to look to California for trends and things. We've got stuff going on right here in Williamston with this awesome gym, with awesome other things going on that we're going to talk about later in the next couple of weeks. But that you can get health right here in Williamston. You can get fit right here. So we want to make sure that you guys know what's here.
Cool.
absolutely.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
See you
We'll see you
guys.
guys next week.